Hello viewers, this is Distiction Learning Center, the light of education. Our tutorial for today is still Mathematics 10 Commandments, in which we are proceeding to the next commandment, which is treatment of square and square root. Treatment of square and square root. The rules behind this particular topic are three. The rules behind it are three. Now, rule 1 states that x square equal to y. X square equal to y. That means this square will come to this side and change to square root of y. So that is how we arrive to this particular expression here. That is, this square will come from left hand side to right hand side and change to square root of y, which will now give us s equal to square root of y. So that is rule 1. Now rule 2 now. Rule 2 says that square root of x equal to y. Square root of x equal to y. That means this square root of x, this square root will come to the right hand side and change to what? Square. So that is, whenever a square root move from one side to another side, it will change to square. And whenever a square move from one side to another side, we change to square root. That is, they are vice versa. So therefore, whenever a square root like this move from left hand side to right hand side, then it will change to square. So that is how we arrive at this solution of rule 2. That is, x equal to y squared. So that is, this square root move from left hand side to what? To the right hand side, and result to x equal to y squared. Now, the third rule states that x raised to power 1 all over 2 equal to y. X raised to the power of 1 all over 2 equal to y. Now, how are we going to do this? Now, wherever you see any number or alphabet which has a power of 1 all over 2, it means this 1 all over 2 is the same thing as what? Square root. So a situation whereby you see something like this, you can still write it as something like this. So that is, square root of x, that is, square root of x is the same thing as x raised to power 1 all over 2. The same thing as x raised to power 1 all over 2. So a situation whereby you see an expression like this, we are still talking about what? Square root of what? Square root of x. So do you understand? So that means you are going to apply the same rule that we apply to rule 2 to rule 3 again, because since x raised to power 1 over 2 is the same thing as x is the same thing as square root of x, so that means we are going to apply the same rule to it. So once we are going to apply the same rule to it, so that means whenever this 1 all over 2, this 1 all over 2 cross, this 1 all over 2 cross from this left hand side to right hand side, it will change to square. So it will change to square. So that means our answer will now be what? X equal to what? Y square. So that is everything about what? Rules of treatment of square and square root. Now, let's now move forward to the example section. So we have 6 examples here in which I'm going to explain how we arrive to the answer. Now, the question here is solve for x in the following. solve for x in the following, that is the question 1. Solve for x in the following, that is, so what are we going to do there? That is x equal to 9. So there is a mistake here. It is x squared. I wanted to write x squared. So that is what? X squared equal to 9. So how are we going to do this? That means if this square move from this left hand side to right hand side, because we are going to apply the same rule that we applied to row 1 to this. Are you getting it? So the same rule that we applied to row 1 will be applicable to this particular question. So that means x square equal to 9. So that means this square will come here and change to what? Square root of, and change to square root of 9. So that is how we arrive to this particular solution there. That is x equal to square root of 9, which will now give us x equal to 3. We should now give us x equal to 3. So that is the solution for example 1. And example 2, we have x raised to power 3 equal to 27. X raised to power 3 equal to 27. Now, how are we going to do this? That means this cube here, that is, whenever you see anything raised to power 3, it is cube. So now, if this cube, we migrate from left hand side to what? To right hand side. So the cube will change to what we call cube root. It will change to cube root. So this one is different from square root. Now square root, they might write it, they might not write 2 at the back, but it is not compulsory for you to write 2 at the back of square root. But 3 or any other figure, so will be attached to that particular square root. So now, if this 3 will move from left hand side to right hand side, it will change to what we call cube root, which is what? So, which is how we arrive at what? This particular solution, that is x equal to what? Cube root of what? Of 27. X equal to cube root of 27. And what is the cube root of 27? That is, what are the number we can multiply in these 3 times that will give us what? 27. That is the same number that we can multiply 3 times that will give us 27. So I think that one is what? 3 times 3 times 3. So that's what? 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 3 is 27. So that means the number that we can multiply in 3 times that will give us 27 is 3. So that means our cube root of 27 will give us 3. So that is how we arrive to this solution of question 2. So that is how we arrive to that particular answer. Now the third one, which is the third question under the example section, is square root of x equal to 3. Square root of x equal to 3 is still the same thing. So that is, what are we going to do? We are going to apply the root 2 to this particular question there. So root 2, we say that whenever square root move from one side to other side, it will change to square. So now that means this square we migrate from left hand side and come here and change to what? And change to 2, that is, and change to square. So that means it will change to 3 square. So that is how we arrive to this particular solution there. That is x equal to 3 square. And what is 3 square? 3 square means you multiply 3 in 2 times. You multiply it in what? In 2 times. So that means we have what? 3 times 3, that is equal to what? 9. That is equal to 9. So that is how we arrive to this particular solution there. So that is how we arrive to this particular solution there. So that is the solution of question 3. Now let's now move to example 4. Now example 4 is, this is what we call cube root. We call this one cube root. That is, if you want to pronounce it, you just say cube root of x, cube root of x. Now if this cube root will move from this left hand side to right hand side, so it will change to what? 5 raised to power 3. It will change to 5 raised to power 3. So that means, so there is a mistake here. It will be 3. So it is 5 raised to power 3. Now, and 5 raised to power 3 is what? So that means you're going to multiply 5 in 3 times. You multiply it in 3 times. That is 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. So that is 5 times 5 is 25, and 25 times 5 is 125. 125. So that is how we arrive to this particular 125 here. So that is how we arrive to this 125. So that means 5 raised to power 3 is what? Is 125. That is, this cube root will come here and change to what? 5 cube. That is 5 raised to power 3, and 5 raised to power 3 give us what? 125. So that is the solution for question 4. That is the solution for question 4. Now, next one is, let's now move to question 5 now. Question 5. Now, I told you when we were doing root 3 that whenever you see a sign like this, it is still the same thing as what? Square root. That means square root of what? X. And root 2 says that whenever square root move from one side to another side, it will change to square. It will change to square. So now, what we are now going to do now is, is to move this particular 1 all over 2 to this side. So that means this 1 over 2, if it move from here to this side, it will change to what? Square. It will change to square. That means it will give us what? 7 square. And so that means our final answer will now be what? X equal to 7 square, which will now give us 49. That is, 49 is 7 times 7. 7 times 7, which will give us what? 49. 7 times 7 will give us 49. So that is how we arrive at what? The solution of question 5. And the last question under the example section is x raised to power 3 equal to 4. X raised to power 1 all over 3 equal to 4. Now, this one, we are going to do it the way we do the question 5 too. So that means this 1 all over 3 will move from this place to this particular side and change to what? Raised to power 3. Is because this particular one has 1 all over 3. That is the reason why we make use of 3. And the reason why we make use of 2 under the question 5 section is what? Is because it is 1 over 2. That is, the denominator of the fraction of the power is what? Is 2. That is the reason why we write 2 here. And the denominator of the power of this one too is 3. So that's the reason why we write 3 here. So that means what we are going to do now is what? This 1 over 3, if it moves from this place to this place, it will change to what? To the power of what? 3. Which will now give us what? 4 raised to power 3. And what is 4 raised to power 3? So that means it is what? 4 times 4 times 4. So 4 times 4 times 4 will give us, 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 times 4 will give us 64. That is 4 raised to power 3 equal to what? X raised to power 64. So that is everything about what? About example section. With this, I have strong assurance that you'll be able to tackle any question pertaining to treatment of square and square root. So before we move to the classwork, please take your pen and take your book, go through all the example and solve this particular classwork. And after solving it, now play the video back and see the solution. Now, the first solution of the class 1 section is, now question 1, there is x raised to power 4 equal to 81. S raised to power 4 equal to 81. So the first one we are going to do is s raised to power 4 equal to 81. S raised to power 4 equal to 81. So how are we going to do this? So based on our previous explanation, you said this 4 here, you move to this side and change to what? 4 roots, and change to what? 4 root 81. So that means that is what we are going to do. So once we have known that, so that means our x here will now equal to what? 4 root what? 81. 4 root 81. So that means 4 root 81. And what is 4 root 81? So our 4 root 81 will now give us what? So that means what can we multiply in 4 places that will give us what? 81. That is the same number that we can multiply in 4 places that will give us 81. So I think that one will be what? That one will be 3. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 again. So let's see if it's going to give us 81. That is 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 3 is 27, and 27 times 3 will give us 81. So that means our answer will be what? Will be 3, because it is 3 that give us what? 81. So definitely our final answer will now be x equal to what? S equal to 3. Now the next solution is question 2. So now question 2 will go like this. That is the solution for question 2. That is y raised to power 6 equal to 64. Y raised to power 6 equal to 64. Now how are we going to do this? That means this 6 we move from this side to this particular side and change to what? Y equal to 6 root 64. 6 root 64. So that means if this one now change to 6 root 64. Now what is 6 root 64? So that means what are we going to multiply in 6 times? The same number that we can multiply in 6 times that will give us 64. I think that is 2. That is 2 times 2, 4 times 2, that is 8. Sorry, times 2, that is 8. And 8 times 2, that is 16. 8 times 2, that is 16. And 16 times 2, that is 32. And 32 times 2 will give us what? 64. That is 2 times 2 here will give us 4. And 4 times 2 here will give us 8. And 8 times 2 here will give us 16. And 16 times 2 here will give us 32. And 32 times 2 here will give us 64. So that means our y 6, that is our 6 root 64 will give us 2, because it is 2 that we can multiply in 6 places that will give us 64. So that is y equal to what? Y equal to 2. Now question 3. Now our question 3 is what? Square root of x equal to 2. Square root of x equal to 2. So how are we going to do this? So we've done it under the example section. That is, whenever this square will move from this side to this side, that is, whenever this square root will move from this side to this side, it will change to what? Square root. So that means x will equal to what? X will equal to 2 raised to power 2. That is 2 raised to power 2. And 2 raised to power 2 means what? 2 times 2. 2 times 2, which will give us 4. That means x equal to what? 4. X equal to 4. That is for So that is the solution for example 3. Now let's now move to example 4, which is what? 3 root y. 3 root y equal to 3. So we've done this one before too under example section. That is, if this 3 root will move from this place, that is, it is also called what? Cube root. So if this cube root will move from this side to this particular side, it will change to what? Raised to power 3, that is 3 cube. So that means our y will now equal to what? 3 raised to power 3. 3 raised to power 3. So that means we now say 3 raised to power 3 is what? So 3 raised to power 3 is 3 times 3. 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 times 3. So that means y will now equal to what? 3 times 3 is what? 9. And 9 times 3 is what? 27. So that means our final answer is what? Y equal to what? 27. So we've done this, and we've done this. So now let's now move to example the classwork section, that is question 5. Question 5. So that one says x raised to power 1 all over 4. X raised to power 1 all over 4 equal to 4. So now what are we going to do under this? So that means I told you, whenever you see something like this, 1 all over 4 here is still the same thing as something, it is the same as 4 root x. So this particular expression is the same thing as what? This particular expression. So the way you are going to solve this particular question is the way you're going to solve this one too. So that means we are going to, what we are going to do here is that whenever this 1 all over 4 move from this side to this particular side, so that means it will change to what? It will change to 4. So that means our x here is now equal to what? Is now equal to 4 raised to power 4. 4 raised to the power of what? 4. That means, and 4 raised to power 4 is what? 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. That is 4 in 4 places. 4 in 4 places. That is 4 times 4 is what? 16. And 16 times 4 is what? 64. And 64 times 4 is what? 256. 256. So that means our answer will now be what? X. So that means our answer will be x equal to 256. 256. Yes, that is the solution of everything. So with this, I have strong assurance and strong belief that you will be able to answer any question pertaining to treatment of square and square root. I still remain Simid from Distiction Learning Center.